Hi all, this is Max here, and you're listening to Max of Kindness. This is the first video on this channel, and I felt like I had to make it because I had to vent. Now, when I get to the reason I had to vent, you might think it's silly, but I'll explain why it's important in a minute. Now, I had to vent about Suicide Squad. And I wanted to vent with you because I know when I'm watching other YouTube videos, when I see something that upsets me, that I don't like, I like to watch someone talk about it. I like to hear what they're thinking about it so I can decompress. And I think that's important because scientifically, we're prone to react emotionally before we really understand why we're doing so. So I think it helps to be mindful of how we're reacting, why we're reacting, while also keeping in mind that our reactions may not necessarily be wrong. We can look at the situation causing the problem for us. Now, when I'm listening to somebody discuss something that I'm decompressing on, I kind of get into a Zen state. It helps me reach a calm mind, which I like because it helps me be more productive and happier in my everyday life. Now, though it seems like a small issue, what brought me here today was the movie Suicide Squad. And I think from the outset, it seems like an odd topic. But I just want to say now, since this is the first video, that I'm very interested in art. I'm very interested in entertainment, and I think that in lots of our entertainment today, the two can't be separated. What causes me a lot of distress is when the entertainment and the money involved in that takes precedent over the art and the emotion that that art can convey, and the effect that that art can have on the world. So this comes back to Suicide Squad. Now, if you've seen the commercials or you've seen the movie, it seems like a fairly harmless, fun, blockbuster movie. Flashy, not that deep. There's been a million of them made. And there'll probably be many more made. And that's okay. But what I'm really interested in is the controversy that has come up surrounding this movie. And especially the rift that is made apparent again between fans and reviewers. Now, I'm a fan of many things. I would consider myself a fan. I wouldn't put myself in the reviewer category. Not just yet. Maybe that will come later. Now, this movie has been in the news for a variety of reasons. One, because it was very successful despite being panned by critics. And I think we can all guess why that was. Because critics are looking for certain things in a movie. They see a lot of movies, and I think in a way they're trained to dissect them. Because a film reviewer is not necessarily interested in the same thing that the common moviegoer is. They're doing this for their job. They're not going for entertainment. They're trying to objectively break down in writing what makes the movie work and what doesn't work. And that's quite separate from what a fan is doing, who wants to go see the movie for fun, and that fun might be excitement from action, excitement from drama, or excitement from tension. People like all sorts of movies. But I think my biggest thing is that, and what we saw with this film, is that the studio very much geared it towards a fan audience. They geared it towards a popular audience. There was almost as much money put in marketing and advertisements as there were into making the movie. Now, I don't think I'm the only one who found those commercials obnoxious. It was borderline offensive that they used Bohemian Rhapsody to market this film. And what was also problematic was their use of the Joker. Because what I think you'll find when you watch the movie is that that was a bait and switch, which makes me very disappointed. Because the Joker, though not perhaps a beloved character, is a fan favorite character, thanks in no small part to Heath Ledger's performance. In my experience, my first taste of the Joker was actually in the Batman animated series, which is great, and Mark Hamill's voice acting has been my favorite performance of the Joker to date. So the Joker is a well-known, well-received character. And Jared Leto is a well-known, well-received actor. Much of the press surrounding the movie was about Jared Leto and his performance as the Joker. And the film was marketed as such. The Joker was, I believe, in every advertisement for the film. There were even trailers and snippets that focused solely on the Joker. And yet, he's in the film for maybe a total of 15 minutes. Now, if you haven't seen the film, that may seem disappointing and a reason not to see it. And if you did see the film, then I'm sure you were disappointed as well. Though his performance got mixed reactions, I think I can say safely that many people were interested in what he would do and would like to have seen more. Now, of course, there can be artistic reasons for why you cut a character out of a film, or why you cut down so many parts of his performance. The biggest one that comes to mind, of course, is that he simply doesn't work in the film. The film is more coherent and more enjoyable without him. And that seems to be many's explanation for what happened here. But I think Jared Leto was as surprised as many of us. In one response to an interviewer, he said, "Did they leave any of me in the film?" And he hasn't seen the film himself. But I think if you know the history of the reshoots with this film, reshoots that were made to make the film funner and more lively, more comedic, to match seemingly the likes of Marvel movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool. The director David Ayer has said that he's very happy to be able to do the reshoots. And it's true that many films do receive reshoots. After all, why wouldn't you want to try to make your film better if you're given the money to do so? The problem arises though when it seems like David Ayer's vision of what better is hasn't come to fruition. David Ayer is known for dark movies like Training Day and End of Watch. They're gritty, also generally very well received. And so, when you hire a director like that, and you bring him to this project, he has a vision. And I think, seeing the movie, this movie makes sense with that vision. That's what makes this film unique. It is a villain team-up, which is something we have not generally seen, but with a darker, nihilistic tone. These are people who are being controlled by a government who, though they say they're the good guys, don't act like it. And I think we see that in our world a lot. We see that governments bomb people and detain people. We know that police don't always do what they're supposed to. We know that people who say they're the good don't always do it. And so I think that's a strong idea. But I think what you'll find out is that there were two cuts of this film made. David Ayer's director's cut, and one cut made by a studio that makes film trailers. Now, film trailers are of course made to be peppy and exciting, but they also often cut around haphazardly. which I think is what you'll find in this film, which brings me back to the Joker. Now, it's clear that Jared Leto's acting and his performance didn't meet the fun, uplifting tone that WB and the producers wanted for this movie. And now it appears that Leto himself is not happy with this. In one quote, he said he feels tricked into doing the Suicide Squad movie. He said, "It wasn't the artistic production I thought it would be." Now, being an artistically minded person, that's what has disappointed me. And I know people say, studios are in it to make money, this is to be expected. But I think that we ought to expect better. And if we're not given it, then we ought to demand better. Because I would have liked to see a movie that was different. And instead, the film fell into usual cliches of these big superhero movies. And it didn't do it well. Of course, that's just my opinion. And you all viewers are welcome to your own. If you don't agree with me, that's okay. Feel free to have a discussion in the comment section below. I appreciate it and I welcome it. That's what we're here to do, to comment, discuss, and vent. But one thing I want to stress to all of you that I try to do in my own life is to discuss thoughtfully. To think about what you're saying, to think through what you're saying, to have valid, reasoned arguments that don't devolve into name-calling and flaming. And that's also something I've seen with this movie. One thing that's been very troubling to me is seeing all the comments from fans who suggest that people don't consult reviewers, don't listen to reviewers. They say the reviewers are lying about this film. And I find that very troubling, because the relationship between reviewers and moviegoers is an important one in the entertainment market. And that's what we'll be discussing next time on Acts of Kindness. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I hope you consider liking or sharing it, as that helps the channel a lot. And I also like to draw both cute, funny, and dark comics. If that sounds like content you'd enjoy, you can subscribe to this channel, or you can check out one of my recent videos. Until next time, this was Max, not saying goodbye, just saying.